Greetings and salutations, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are having a wonderful week so far. It is episode 338 of the Hoots podcast. Podcast comes to you free of charge every single Thursday, anywhere you get your podcast from. And we have our YouTube channel, which you subscribe to right now, youtube.com/the Hoots podcast or at the Hoots podcast on YouTube. You can also follow yours truly at Twitter at the Hoots podcast, at Josh Lopez Media on Instagram. I am joined by the director of all the operations during this holiday season and a good brother of all good brothers, the one and only Derek Stoughton, a.k.a. Brother Carter. What's going on, my man?
Thank you. Thine Royal Derek has once again graced you with his presence today. I feel like we need like some little pomp and fanfare stuff whenever I enter the screen, but glad to be back, man. 2 weeks in a row back on the Hoots podcast, so that's really cool. And as Josh mentioned, I am the director of all the operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, numerators, denominators, whatever you got. You know, it's like some people consider themselves the king of television, of all televisions. Well, I am the director. We'll get into that here in a little later, but I am the director of all of the operations. Glad to be with you. We have a lot to talk about this week and ready to get rocking and rolling. So good to be back. 2 weeks in a row, baby. I'm digging it.
Yeah, we're going to wrap up this year coming up soon. We've got to figure out which day is going to be the our year-end awards show. I think the good thing for us, Burkhardt, this year, not for the fact that we're recording on a Thursday, is the fact that none of our shows interfere with the holidays. Like Christmas is on the 24th, which Christmas Eve is on the 24th, which is a Saturday. And our show's on a Thursday, so that'd be the 22nd. Right. Same thing applies to New Year's as well on the 29th. So we got about 3 more shows, including this one, to do to wrap up 2022. It's been a very successful year for our podcast. We're very appreciative of each and every single one of you who have been hanging out with us each week. I am coming live from the fortress of Joshie in Chicago, Illinois. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are seeing the camera. It's been modify, make sure everything's all good and stuff, and we're gonna have some slight technical improvements and stuff. But the main thing is the same character's still here. We're still having fun, and that's the most important thing at the end of the day. We appreciate each and every single one of you who check out this absolutely terrible podcast.
That's terrible. That's a terrible play. Yeah, that again.
Terrible.
That is terrible. Well, you got to be careful too, because Shaq may throw Kenny into a Christmas tree. I don't know. Did you see that, Josh?
Yeah. I don't know if that's a bit where they always have to make Shaq fall and just collapse. But
Kenny threw Shaq into the tree. That's right. No, that was so funny. That was great.
Kenny's a natural heel. Aren't all Kenny's natural heels, if we're being honest?
Well, I mean, the problem is Kenny is a heel I actually want to see on television, unlike other Kennys who I want to see natural heels that I actually care about, which like Kenny the Jet Smith. I want to see Kenny the Jet Smith, but other Kennys, which we'll talk about later, I have no interest in seeing at all.
As long as Kenny doesn't do play-by-play slam dunk contests, we're all good.
This is true.
Is horrible. He's annoying as shit when those go down. But anyways, welcome to the show, everybody. We're having some fun today. It's gonna be more a laid-back version. We don't have too much questions for the back porch Q&A, but we are gonna answer questions. And me and Carter just gonna shoot the shit with you guys tonight. Just have some fun, relax. I'm actually gonna pull out some tunes for you guys today. I'm not gonna sing, but I'm just gonna play for you. As you guys are watching the video version, I've been holding my guitar this entire time for a reason.
You have it. Yeah.
We're recording this on Thursday, December 8th. It is the anniversary of John Lennon's unfortunate passing. For those who know me, I'm a big music buff, and my grandpa and growing up playing guitar music was always Beatles, Tom Petty, Eagles, ELO, Fleetwood Mac. By the way, our thoughts and prayers go out to Fleetwood Mac and the passing of their piano player, Christine Beery. Last week, unfortunately, I saw that news. And I don't look at this day as a sad day. Obviously, it's a horrible tragedy for John Lennon when this happened. But John passed away really young at a time where he was just really about to start living his life on his own terms. He was about to have a really cool album coming out and stuff like that. And just figured I wanted to play a couple too. It's not going to be long here, but we'll get to that in just a couple seconds. But don't forget, it wouldn't be a new episode of the Hoots podcast without our main event segment. It's funny, Brother Carter. I was watching the People's Choice Award the other night. Usually, I'm not a big fan of the award shows. I think I kind of grown past it. It's very awkward the way the shows are formatted and how you have these celebrities pretend that they care about the scripts that these producers write for them as they try to present these awards. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's all genuine and stuff like that. But I had nothing on. NXT was over and it was still on, so I flipped over to NBC and watched a little bit of it. And I was like, what wrestling podcast serves our audience more than we do with what the hell is wrong with AEW?
The best segment in podcasting, baby. It's what we do. We tell people like it is. That's what I'm talking about. That's what we do.
We're not leading people astray or run amok, as Stephen A. Smith would say.
That's right. That's right.
We're a friendly service show, and like you said, the key important thing here, we tell the truth and we keep it a stack, and we keep it 100 for you guys. So, not only should the Hoots podcast be nominated for a Emmy Award, it should be nominated for People's Choice Award as well. I don't know if they have any like national televised podcasting awards, but maybe down the road we'll have to see how things play out. Anyways, before we get into the Back Porch Q&A, I'm going to play a couple chords here in a John Lennon melody, and the song I'm going to play here are Beautiful Boy, which is my favorite John Lennon song outside of Woman, and Imagine. And then, So hope you guys enjoy this. I am not going to have the music in the background. I might flirt around and play some more tunes as the weeks go on. I'm having a new soundboard that's coming to the house soon, and hopefully we can mix some things off. I noticed when I've tried to do guitar covers here on StreamYard, the audio always just seems to have the music overlapping my guitar when I play, and that sucks. Like, I want you guys to hear me play, and hopefully this comes out good. So first one we're going to do here is Beautiful Boy, and you guys like it. So here you go. And then we go here.
Very good. No. Awesome. Very nice, Brother Adam. Very nicely done. John Lennon, obviously one of the great musicians of our time and gone way too soon. I mean, what a career he could have had. But that's awesome. Great, great, great stuff, man. Just great stuff. Very good. All right. Is it time, Josh? I feel like I just kind of sat down on a porch. What do you think?
Yeah, it's getting comfortable here, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
yes, folks, it's time once again to answer some questions from the morose universe. I'm kidding. We got questions from the good brothers Chris Letta and Sam Piopo today. It's a brand new edition of the Back Porch Q&A session. So let's do this traditional style. Let's throw up the X. Throw it up. Throw it up.
Absolutely. Not for CM Punk, but for the other. Yeah. So I had to get that in there. Sorry, Chris. And I guess for Sam too. Sorry, I had to get that in there. I'm sorry.
Hey, don't be surprised if CM Punk stops Roman Reigns' title reign.
No, you shut your mouth right now. That's okay. I'm sorry. You just got minus 20. You just got minus 20 for your performance evaluation, pal. Hey, no way. Ain't no stopping me. No, go ahead.
This is the charm of me being in the host seat here. I get to push your buttons. I got a question I want to propose to you since this is a Q&A session.
All right, let's go.
What do you would take more? CM Punk ending Roman Reigns' title reign or Sasha Banks winning the Royal Rumble?
Oh, I'd much rather have Sasha win the Rumble. That's fine.
No,
I'd much rather have Sasha win the Rumble. That's fine. Because who's Sasha going to beat?
Yeah,
come on. I mean, give her the title. I don't care. But But if that jackass ends up ending Roman Reigns' streak, no. He's our tribal chief. We all throw up our ones. We all show our respect. Ain't to be beaten by some guy who gets shut off, who walked off because he couldn't handle the elite, the most overrated professional wrestlers in the world. Give me a break.
Is that right?
That's right. But hey, Josh.
You mean to tell me with a straight face that you would rather have Sasha Banks and her annoying ass fan base win the Royal Rumble over Charlotte Flair?
No, I didn't say that. No, I said no. I said you said would you rather have Sasha win or CM Punk That's
fine,
yeah, I'd rather have Sasha win than Punk end the title reign. That jackass who I've been right about for the last 8 years. No. Absolutely not.
All right, Chris Zaletta, my man. I love this show. This is tremendous.
It's awesome.
Oh, what up, Oos? Here's some questions for the Q&A this week. When can we get you in one of these media calls? Press conference / scrums certainly deserves to be in there. Well, Chris, I'm very humble and flattered that you think that I'm worthy enough of being in a platform like that. Maybe stay tuned for 2023. I can't promise anything. I have my opinions on the state of dirt sheet culture and how those scrums are handled and stuff like that. As much to be flattering to be, I guess, validated, by Wrestling Twitter that I'm worthy enough to be in those scrums. That's not what I'm in it for. But if you feel like I'm worthy to be in that position, I'm not gonna say no to that. I'm very grateful for you to think of that highly of me, but I feel like I would be embarrassing most outlets by the fact that I'm actually asking real questions and not kissing ass and looking for a job from Tony Khan. So that's just my opinion on it. But Carl, what about you? I think you're worthy enough of being on a scrum. I think you're.
I would be honored.
You're capable of crafting some good questions, aren't you?
Absolutely. I'd love to get on the media scrum with Tony Khan and maybe ask him about some of his booking decisions and just try to hope him to get him to say, I'm not putting up with that fucking chat. And then look left and right like he's high, like he's like, oh. I think Tony Khan reminds me of Adam Gase with the Jets press conference every time that he's, I don't know which one was worse, Tony Khan or Adam Gates, but, or Adam Gase rather, but no, that'd be fun to be on a media scrum all we have to do each week, Josh, is bring what the hell is wrong with AEW. Right. Tony, I'd like to play something for you. And then just playing the theme music for what the hell is wrong with AEW.
But here's the deal, though. Like, I think most people would know what my first question would be if I ever asked Tony Khan a question.
What the hell is wrong with AEW? I don't.
Close. Can you tell me what your company is in 2023? What is AEW? My follow-up would be, 4 years into the company, how do you feel about the state of your commentary team?
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm gonna ask that question, and then he's gonna go on a 20, I don't know, maybe a 3 minute soliloquy about stuff that doesn't matter, and go over the resumes of how great Taz and JR and stuff like that. I'll talk about the state currently of your announce booth, because your announce booth sucks all around. It's a shame that they had to drag poor Ian Riccaboni to have at least some competent commentary during the show, or Kevin Kelly at the Forbidden Door. 4 years into Elite Wrestling Company. Remember now, this is supposed to be Elite Wrestling, and their announcing is piss poor at best.
Terrible.
It's brutal. Shout out to Sam, who's watching us live here in our live stream on Facebook. Appreciate you, good brother. Brett here, he says, AEW is the land of all the people Vince fired. Yeah.
And actually, Brett, thank you for bringing that up, because that's going to be a perfect segue into what I want to talk about and what the hell is wrong with AEW this week, because that's really going to be, that's kind of what I thought about the show this week is just kind of, well, we'll talk about when we get into our segment, but just know that that's kind of what we'll talk about that when we get into the show. But Brett, thank you, Brett, for bringing that up. That's going to be very potent in here in about an hour.
Yes, sir. All right. Thoughts on Eric Young's departure from Impact and possibly returning to WWE? Well, that's up my territory since I cover Impact Wrestling. Basically, Brett Carter, we had a murder on Impact.
I heard about this, and I'm just like, okay. But he somehow got murdered, but then he's going to, like, if it doesn't work out, he's going to reappear from the dead. Just kidding. I'm not dead. Like, he is not yet dead. He is there. And never, it's kind of that thing. I don't know. I heard about this. Go ahead.
Here's my deal. And I'm not going to come on here being hypocrite and say that's stupid and outlaw and blah, 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 because I was a Lucha Underground fan and they killed a bunch of people and did a whole bunch of stuff that you see on superhero movies. I'm not going to be a hypocrite. We're all fans of superhero movies and stuff like that, and unrealistic shit happens all the time. But to have that close your show,
right?
And for those who don't watch Impact, Eric Young has been running a faction called Violent by Design for about 2.5 years. And Eric's done a lot of great stuff in Impact Wrestling. I mean, outside of Sanity, the most things you remember from Eric Young is his work in TNA and Impact. Right. And I've always been a fan of his work. I enjoy his stuff in the ring. But they had this whole deal where they're at a prison cell, and him and Cody Deaner, who's the guy that killed them, we're having a conversation about what would you do if someone that was trying to kill you was standing right in front of you, or like how would you inflict violence and stuff like that. And it was a little much, even for me, being the guy that watches and covers way too much wrestling. Picture that if you were watching Impact for the first time and that was your first thought on the company, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it wasn't for me, but as far as him going to WWE, look, we already got Nikki Cross back to her normal stuff, so that's a good thing. I know a lot of people have been asking for that. So if you get some reunification of Sanity, I would not have a problem with that.
Yeah, I agree with you, Josh. I've been a big fan of Eric Young's for a long time. I thought he was great in TNA and did great things in Impact. I didn't think he got a fair deal in NXT, and WWE never got a chance to really show what he could do. Sanity kind of just didn't work out on the main roster for whatever reason. But no, I think Eric Young could be a great asset to WWE, and I hope that works out. I hope we see him back on TV.
Yes, sir. All right, let's go to the next question. Chris said, thoughts on William Regal heading back to WWE? Brooke, I'll let you answer this one because I want to speak more on this and what the hell's wrong with AEW, but you go ahead.
Yeah, no, and I think we were going to talk about this more, Josh, in what the hell is wrong with AEW and what I thought. I'm very excited. I think that this is the right move for him. It's the right move for the company. I think he started to see the sinking ship as well as anybody, and just realized once Triple H was back in charge, time to him to go back home. And I've heard some details about his contract and that he's not allowed to be on screen in 2023 and can just coach. But whatever, if Tony wants to be that petty, whatever, it's still going to make everything better. So like, January 1, 2024, they can already say War Games, and then that'll be on, and that'll get the hugest pop in the world. So I think it's going to be terrific. And we'll talk about this when we get in the show. I actually did enjoy the tribute last night and kind of how all that went down. I know we'll talk about that when we get into our segment, but I'm excited about it. I think it's great for everybody involved, and I can't wait to see William Regal back home where he belongs.
Well, here's my deal. This is all I'll say about it right now, and this is a question to everybody: who's running the sloppy shop now?
Indeed.
Just saying.
Indeed.
Here's some comments here from Brett at the YouTube chat. He says, thoughts on Nakamura and the Great Muta. Oh, yes. By the way, if you guys don't know, Shinsuke Nakamura will be making an appearance at Pro Wrestling. No, is it All Japan or Noah? One of those two companies are having. No, it's All Japan, I believe. Muta's all over the place. I should know this as a guy who covers Japanese wrestling. But anyways, Nakamura will be having a match during Wrestle Kingdom weekend, but for a different promotion, not in New Japan. He'll be fighting the Great Muta, who's about to retire soon. So this is one of his final matches. I know this is a personal selection for Muta that he wanted Nakamura to fight him. I think it's a cool deal. I think it really is. I think it's also good for Nakamura. Maybe to have one more barn burner and just say hi and get his spirits up and motivated. I think that's a cool thing. To have other performers perform internationally in other promotions on a big time event like that, I think it's a cool deal. But I wouldn't be putting my hopes up and be like, oh, here's the deal. Hey. Right. You say Nakamura is going to ask for his release. Watch out, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to be in the G1 next year. I'm not going to put our hopes up to that.
But Josh, hey, listen. But let's not listen. But it doesn't matter because apparently Sasha Banks is going to be appearing at Wrestle Kingdom 17. So, I mean, there's that. That's your draw, pal.
Yeah. Hey, is King HR joining her there? I need to know.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, Brett, for the correction there. Noah will be hosting that event. By the way, for Wrestle Kingdom, Kenny Olivier is fighting Will Ospreay for the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship. I know that may not be interesting you, but we got an 8-star match lined up for Wrestle Kingdom.
Dude, by the way, have you noticed that everyone is starting to turn on Meltzer now too? Everyone is starting to realize this guy has absolutely zero credibility. Ever since he started allying himself with AEW, it's just everybody's finally starting to see, yeah, dude.
There's no credibility. I'll tell you, wait to the reaction if Tony Khan wins the Booker of the Year award again this year. You know what's going to happen.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
Next question here. Do the Briscoes, oh my God. Do the Briscoes go 0-3 against FTR Saturday? Oh my God.
Ooh. Josh, do you want to save that for the segment?
Yeah.
Okay, let's just save that one for the segment.
Chris, if you're not watching video, I think my facial expressions in the video version will tell you my thoughts early of what my final battle. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah. But John, I will say this. Do you think that maybe FTR versus the Briscoes Part 3 might be something you wanted to have advertised more than 2 days before the show?
Great question.
I know we're trying to save it for this segment.
Brain would have that same thought too.
I mean, I know we're saving it for this segment, and I'll repeat this in about an hour from now. But let's carry it. Let's go. Let's go.
All right, next question. He says, thoughts on Tegan Knox return? Oh, yes. Great question there. We haven't got a chance to talk to Tegan Knox. She made a return on the Dawn of Smack last week. I saw that. No. I thought it was cool. We had the question right last week about the lack of depth of the women on the SmackDown Women's roster. Well, there you go. They just threw you a bone. So I thought it was pretty cool. Look, she's one of the wrestlers that just had such a bad string of luck when it comes to injuries and stuff like that. And she never really got her foot off the ground. Then COVID happened, and I think she was one of the releases, right? Yeah. So, good for her. I enjoyed her work, and you know what? Here's the cool thing: she has a history with the Dakota Kai, and that'll be a good thing for the tag titles. There you go, folks. You guys, everybody's looking for what's gonna be next for the women's tag team scene. There you go. You got Damage Control against Shotzi and Tegan Knox. There you go.
Great. Yeah. I love it. I think it's great, Josh. And we'll talk about this more in this week in WWE. But great to see Tegan Knox back. I think, like you, she just kind of got a raw deal and just kind of got some bad luck. So I'm glad she's getting another chance. I think it's great.
Sam Tegan's cup. That's not right, man. At least Tegan Knox could deliver on the ring product. Oh man, what a throwback for Bears fans there, Kevin White, my lord. Anyways, let's go to the next question. Who wins both the women's and men's Iron Survivor matches? I'll go those briefly. I'll talk a little bit about Deadline when we get to this week in WWE. I'm going with Carmelo Hayes, and I'm going with Cora Jade to win those matches. Hey, don't forget, coming up on Saturday, XT Deadline, pretty cool new concept. Folks, it's not the King of the Mountain match. You're not setting up a fucking ladder to put a title up. I get it. I get the whole thing about the penalty box and all that and blah, blah. I get it. But it's not the King of the Mountain match. You're not standing there like a fucking idiot climbing up a ladder trying to put a title onto a clip above the ring. It's not the King of the Mountain match. But I'm intrigued by the concept, and I'm going to go with Carmelo Hayes. I think this is his opportunity to go at the Braun Breaker and the XC title. I know a lot of people have been waiting for that. And Cora Jade, she's a star, man. You're looking for that A.G. Lee Page type of character in WWE. There you go. You have it right there.
She's isn't she like 20 years old or something like that?
Yep, and Chicago's very own.
There you go, dude. She keeps this up, man. She could have a real awesome career.
Yes, sir. All right, next question here for Chris. He says, will you be watching any of the college football bowl games?
I'll take this one since I am the kind of resident college football expert. And absolutely, every time a bowl comes on, I'm very excited to see it. At least check out part of it, depending on what we have going on over the season. But yeah, I'll definitely be watching the bowl games. I'm obviously very excited about the playoff. I think we have two excellent matchups with Georgia taking on Ohio State, who kind of snuck in, and then TCU is taking on Michigan. I think those are going to be some excellent games. I've got Georgia taking on Michigan in the finals in a rematch from last year, with Georgia repeating as national champions, which I think is going to be terrific. But yeah, there's some really cool matchups. I'll have to in your New Year's Six bowl games, you got Tennessee versus Clemson, which could be great. Kind of two programs that kind of fell off near the end of the year. So that's going to be a lot of fun. K-State and Alabama, that's going to be great. I think the Rose Bowl game is Utah versus Penn State. That's going to be a really good game. So yeah, there's some excellent college football games. Sam says, "Go Irish and go Illini." Yes.
Sam, I'm going to go with Illini because my Northwestern Wildcats decided to shit the bed this year.
God, they were terrible. Well, we had a bad year because, Pat Fitzgerald is a good coach. I really think Pat Fitzgerald is a good coach. They just had a bad year. But
this is a short story. I became a Northwestern fan because my mom used to work in that area. She's a mail carrier. She does deliveries and stuff out there, and I got to go to one, I think, Northwestern Wildcat game when I was 6 or 7 years old. And it was just being around the area a lot in Wilmette. And also, I always liked the colors purple and black. I thought it was the Undertaker vibe type of thing. You know what I mean? So whenever see purple and black, you got my eyes going. So hopefully they got a great music program and a great journalism too, right?
I will say for Sam there, and I forgot about this one. I had to look it up. Yeah. Notre Dame's got a good bowl game. They got South Carolina, two teams that kind of started off the season real rough, but they're starting to figure some stuff out. Yeah. So that could be a really good game as well.
By the way, Olin Kreutz, who used to play for the Bears, by the way, recently nominated for the Hall of Fame in the NFL. His son, I believe, is on the offensive line for the Fighting Illini, which is pretty cool, actually. You know, Brett Carter, I want to have some fun with this, as I am the least well-known member of the college football community here on the Hoots podcast.
No problem.
I want to read the names of these bowls, and it's not meant to talk shit about college football, but some of these are just funny to read out, okay?
Okay.
All right. The Holtown Lenders Bahamas Bowl. We have Miami of Ohio against UAB. I believe that's Auburn, right?
No, that's UAB is University of Alabama, Birmingham.
Oh, okay.
The Blazers.
Yes, sir. We have the Duluth Trading Cure Bowl at Explorer Stadium. It's UTSA against Troy. By the way, is Explorer Stadium Dumping World Stadium? Is this the Citrus Bowl? Is that their new name now?
No, which game is this?
Troy against UTSA. The Explorer Stadium. Is this the soccer one or is this the Citrus Bowl?
This one is the Cure Bowl is so the Cure Bowl is the name of the bowl.
Yeah.
Where's it being played?
It's in Orlando.
Oh,
Stadium.
I have no idea.
Because if this is the Citrus Bowl, I'm gonna laugh my ass off.
Well, it's not. Well, the Citrus Bowl is a bigger bowl than that, but they could be at the same stadium.
Never mind. I know where this is. This is the soccer, where the Orlando MLS soccer team.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so they're having it there. It's like 2 blocks away from the Amway Center, where the Magic plays. So I know that area very well. All right, cool. So I don't have to relive my memories of WrestleMania 33 and that shitty water out there and the homeless man that offered me meth at midnight.
No. The Citrus Bowl this year is being played at Camping World Stadium. LSU versus Purdue, which is actually going to be a good game.
All right, let's go a couple more of these here.
Yeah, we can get going here.
Yeah, Cricket Celebration Bowl, Jackson State and NC Central. That's going to be at Mercedes-Benz. I would bring that up because shout out to primetime Deion Sanders. He's now the new head coach of the
LFG, baby. Let's go. Primetime Buffs, baby. Let's go.
Have you seen Prime yet?
I have not. So I've heard rumors that – so I was actually going to potentially not record tonight with you live because I heard rumors that he was going to be going to the basketball game here tonight. But then they said, oh, no, he's not going to be there. And I was like, okay, that's cool. But then I just got a text from someone that says, okay, change. Now he may be there. So I might be missing getting to see Prime live to be here on the Hoots podcast. So you're welcome, everybody listening to this show.
This is the last bowl I mentioned here because this one pops me. Okay. The Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl presented by Stifle. Washington State against Fresno State. What in the blue hell are we doing here?
How does
Jimmy Kimmel Bowl?
How does he get his own bowl? I don't.
I don't get me wrong. I like Jimmy Kimmel. I think the guy's hilarious, but really, that's the name of a college football game.
Shoot, Josh, at this rate, why don't we have the Hoots Podcast Bowl?
Yeah, exactly. What's the name of the pizza restaurant that Luigi Primo, the fucking pizza guy from AEW? What's the name of his?
Oh, I don't care. If it's anything to do with AEW, I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. Great question there, Chris. All right, who should be the Final Four in the Men's Royal Rumble match? Great question there. Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, and Seth Rollins.
Beautiful. I couldn't have picked it any better myself. Yeah, I like it. Trying to think, is there any dark horses that could be other, like an up and comer, like maybe an Austin Theory?
Possibly, I could see that. I was thinking maybe Randy Orton, but I don't know when he's going to come back from this injury. So.
Right. You know who might be cool in a Final Four actually might be Braun Breaker. I think that could be kind of show what he can do on the main stage.
Or Johnny Gargano.
Yeah, that would be good. I actually wouldn't mind somebody from NXT being in the Final Four. Like who could be a next thing, like a Carmelo Hayes or a Cameron Grimes or something like that.
Right. And then for the chicks, go with Shayna Baszler, Rhea Ripley, Bayley, and who else do I put in there? Asuka, Candice.
No. Woo! Woo! You gotta put the queen in there.
Yes.
You gotta put the queen in there.
Woo! All right. Thank you, Chris, for the questions this week. My brother, appreciate you as always.
Yep.
All right. Last set of questions here. We have 10 more to go, my man. Here we
Man.
go. Sam Piopo. Yes.
Hey, Sam's gonna get to hear his questions answered live. I like it.
Yes, let's do this. I got one question that's gonna pop you.
Okay.
All right, here we go. What are your thoughts on how both Chicago teams have handled free agency thus far? I think it's a good time to be a Cubs fan. I'll say that as much as it makes me want to vomit inside right now. Hey man, I'm glad that Tom Ricketts actually decided to wake up and use some of the money that his zillion-dollar family holds. So yeah, I saw they got Cody Bellinger the other day. I think that's a nice pickup for them. Jameson Talon, who's the Yankees pitcher, I think got signed there as well. So I thought that was cool. I don't know why they let Wilson Contreras go. I thought that was a mistake. It's very rare you have catchers that are really that productive in the middle of the lineup. I know maybe some of his defense and the way he handles pitchers could be debated or whatever, but I kind of a different Wilson Contreras here and there, but I thought he fit well with that team. So seeing him go to St. Louis I kind of felt bad for you, Sam, because who the hell wants to go to St. Louis? Let's be honest.
I've never been. Don't know.
It's like a more snobbier version of Cleveland. That's what St. Louis is, really, at the end of the day. It's a dump. So
well, I know how you feel about Cleveland, Josh. So
yeah, it's the armpit of life. Yeah, so that's my thoughts on the Cubs. As far as my White Sox are concerned, a little disappointed that absolutely next to nothing has been going on free agency. Believe it or not, I've been watching the MLB Network and watching Chris Russo's High Heat shows, trying to find anything that my White Sox have been doing. And it's just nothing. Rick Hahn's like, oh, we're gonna remain patient, like the old like general manager cliches all the time. We're gonna stay patient and see what the market comes to us. We're not just gonna recklessly spend just for the sake of spending and blah 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 blah. Oh yeah, we're the White Sox. Jerry Reinsdorf, our owner, we're just not going to spend over the top money because that's not the White Sox way. Assholes. By the way, Charles Barkley, I'm a big fan of yours, but I saw your quote the other day on the Waddle and Sylvie show on ESPN 1000. You said that the Bulls should tank and rebuild. My man, all due respect to you, the last thing this city needs is another fucking rebuild. By the time 5 years come down, Brother Carter, we might have a new team in Chicago called the Chicago Rebuilders. Because that's how many rebuilds are going on in the city. We got the Bears. What? The Blackhawks. What? The Bulls are, I guess, halfway through their rebuild. What? The Cubs were a rebuild. What? Outside of the White Sox, it's been rebuild after rebuild after rebuild. It's getting too much.
I still think, though, Josh, and I said this at the beginning of the season, the Bears got their QB. They've got their QB. I told you Justin Fields was the man. Oh, no, I'm telling you, Fields can lead them to the promised land.
My feelings on Justin Fields has nothing to do with Justin Fields. I know how the city works and how they treat quarterbacks, and they can't evaluate quarterback development if it's slapped in the face. So I'm not here to declare anybody's anybody, because let's say Justin does not make the Pro Bowl next year. You know what's going to happen? People are going to tell Ryan Poles to release him and trade him. I know how the city works.
Then he'll go to a PT. He'll go to a team and win a chip like within 3 years.
Yeah, exactly. So, next question here for Sam: do you think Jack Sanborn could be a piece of the future of the Bears? Speaking of Bears players, undrafted middle linebacker has been balling out recently. Yeah, I think so. It's a nice pickup. You know, I think one of the things people said about Ryan Poles during his time with the Chiefs, is that a lot of the like star players from their defense, like Nick Bolton and some of these other like under the radar guys they got from Kansas City, it was because of Ryan Poles. And Ryan Poles is our new general manager. So I think that I think Jack could do some good stuff. And if you don't have to pay max money to keep Jack Sanborn on the team, Brother Carter, you got a gem on your hands.
If they can find a way to get him and get him cheap, that would be fantastic.
Let's see what Sam here has to say. Derek, you have to understand how cautious we are as Bears fans when we think we may have a QB. Let's pump the brakes.
Okay, now, Sam, I have not been following the Bears as long as you and Josh have. I get it. Totally get it. But I remember what I saw from Justin Fields at Ohio State, and I know that he's a playmaker. He can make things happen. But I also understand how Bears fans can be cautiously optimistic about what's going on. Well, here's the thing. They got to get him some help, though. They've got to pony up the dough, get him an O-line, get him some help so he actually has time to make decisions and either get the ball to Montgomery or to Khalil Herbert or to Chase Claypool or by the way, I was sad that Darnell Mooney got hurt. It looked like he was starting to ball and then got hurt for the season. So but they could have a couple wide receivers.
MetLife Stadium.
Oh, boy.
What a terrible stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Stop with the fucking turf and get some damn grass at all these football stadiums, for the love of God.
No, but Josh, turf is way easier to make.
Miller tore his ACL because the freaking Detroit Lions need freaking turf in a freaking dome. It makes no sense. It's brutal, man.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about football in a couple of minutes, actually, by the way.
Oh, good.
So next question. How would you grade the Bears coaching staff now that we're at the bye week? I had to put the record to the side just because of what was left on the roster when Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy left. So it's very unfair for me to come in here and tell you that our coaching staff is good or ass or what are adjectives I can use here. But I'm going to give the Bears coaching staff, for what I see so far, a B-.
Okay.
Is there things that could be worked on? Sure, but I think I get a better feel for their coaching staff once, like you said, we get more reinforcements and elevate our roster, if you will. So I'm going to go with B-, and I think that's being fair. I know a lot of people are jumping down Al Williams' throat and stuff like that, but, I mean, Matt Eberflus came and identified what his defense is because we have nobody here. All our main stars are gone, and we got scrubs that represent like 80% of our defense. So there's really nothing they can do about it. Let's see. Anything else I wanted to mention the Bears really quick? Oh, guess what the final 4 games are for the season? They're on the bye week right now. So
right.
we have the Eagles next week.
Ooh.
# Philly is trash. They're coming to the city. On Christmas Eve, it's the Bills. We get the Bills on Christmas Eve. It's a Saturday game. Then we have to go to Detroit. Hopefully Justin Fields doesn't get injured there. And then we wrap up with a home game with the Vikings.
You could go 1 for 3 in those, depending on which Detroit team shows up.
Yeah, exactly. Well, here's my deal. I know a lot of people are like, oh, let's get the second pick in the draft. Like, what's the draft pick going to guarantee us?
Well, it doesn't guarantee you anything. Well, and Josh, we've talked about this before, but and I say this all the time religiously, you never know who's going to make the transition to the NFL well. Case in point, Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield couldn't do anything, right? Yep. There was another who just got released not too long ago. It was another Browns. Was it Deshaun? No.
Who?
Johnny Manziel. There's another one.
Johnny Manziel, yeah.
Johnny Manziel. Number 1, won the Heisman. Number 1 pick. Didn't make it. Josh Rosen. You just never know who's going to make the transition to the NFL. And then you have people like, speaking of Detroit, Amon-Ra St. Brown, who goes like the 7th or 8th wide receiver drafted, and he's balling. Like,
by the way, how did everybody's favorite massage boy play last Sunday? I thought he was going to save the day for the Browns. Sam says here, Bears might give up 200 points in the last 4 games. That might be true.
Yeah.
The facts remain the same. Philly is trash. How they got a WrestleMania, I'll never know. All right. Next question. When was the last time? Oh, how about this, Brother Carter? When was the last time you were genuinely excited for an AEW show? Herman.
Okay. I've never been excited for a show. I've been excited for matches.
Yeah.
Like, you know, seeing the Acclaimed win their tag titles. I was looking forward to that. MJF, when I actually didn't mind Punk, MJF versus Punk, I was looking forward to that. But from a show, no, because AEW also has no idea how to run a show. So, and we're going to talk about that when we get into our segment. That was my biggest takeaway from Dynamite this week is they don't know how to run a television show and they don't know how to use the talent that they have. And we'll get into that in a minute. But no, Josh, I've never been excited about an AEW show.
I don't blame you. I'll tell you this, for me too, I'm gonna agree with you. I've never had one collective show that I'm that excited for. And I went to Forbidden Door, but I went there as a New Japan fan, but it was all AEW to prop up AEW, just like it does all the time when we have these joint ventures and these joint pay-per-view events. I'll tell you, for me, the most I got excited for an AEW show was a match that I got to see in person, which was the first CM Punk and MJF match at the Winchester Arena last February. By the way, I think that's probably the best match out of the ones they had. I know everybody wraps up the dog collar match because of the blood and the rivalry and stuff like that. But for me, from a wrestling standpoint, that first Punk and MJF match where MJF beat Punk twice in Chicago was my favorite one. Good.
No, I was just gonna say. Actually, let me know when you're done before, because I have something a statement I need to make before the next question.
Yeah. Says here, I was excited for the first time, but that quickly diminished. Yeah. Ain't that the shirt?
Yeah. By the way, if anybody happens to have, if you're tuning into our show and then happen to have Thursday Night Football on as well, Baker Mayfield is now on the field and is quarterbacking for the Rams on this current drive. Wow. They put in Baker Mayfield.
I feel sorry for everybody. By the way, shout out to Adam Daly. I know his Raiders are playing right now, so hopefully they get it done tonight. All right, let's go to the next one here. All right, what is your opinion on William Regal's son, Charlie Dempsey? Well, I'm familiar with him because he had his initial start at NXT UK. I like what he's doing. One of the bummers about NXT UK going to hiatus is the fact that his faction that he was in NXT UK called Die Familia was a very unique group, and he was like the bruiser of the group. And you know, you have your Zack Sabre Juniors of the world and Bryan Danielsons and stuff like that, but Charlie Dempsey can go in the ring. Now, he doesn't have the promos like his dad has, but the presence, the look, how he carries himself in the ring, he's good. But if you could put away like the charisma and stuff like that to the side, like you can really appreciate what he does in that ring, because he's pretty damn good, and he carries himself like a badass. So I hope we see more of him. He was on NXT this past week, and I think the future is bright for him if people give him some time to develop his character and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next one. If somebody was falling out of love with wrestling, how would you try to bring them back? Broker, how would you answer this one? That's a good one.
Yeah. Well, step one, don't watch AEW. And I know we joke about that, but it's true. Like, if you were falling out of love with wrestling, I would not. It's like, you may see something on Wednesday night. Seriously, don't watch it. Don't watch it. What I would probably say to have them do is encourage them to check out the next WWE pay-per-view, whatever it is. Like, go and watch, just check out the Royal Rumble. Just go check out WrestleMania and see what you think. And then maybe that can lead you into the next thing. So, because I really like the direction that WWE is taking. I think that Triple H is starting to right some of the wrongs that Vince McMahon has did near the end of his reign. So I think that that's what I would say is just step one, don't watch AEW or ROH or any of that stuff. And I would say just check out a WWE pay-per-view if you can. You know, spend the $5 to get Peacock for a weekend. And just check it out. I think you'd be pleasantly surprised.
here's how I would look at it. And there was a point I wanted to make in when we get to the WWE stuff that I want to mention, but I'll mention it here because I think it's pertinent to this question. I think you have to ask yourself what's getting you to that point. And ask yourself, what do you want out of wrestling? And I feel too many times, Brother Carter, that, and I think this is I think this is something that stems from social media and podcasting and stuff, shows like this and websites, is that we allow too much of our fantasy booking to dictate what's on our screen and what's really in front of us as we're watching the shows. We're not really watching it. We're watching it as if we're inspecting the show. That's why I always say people have notebooks on their side, but really the notebook is their phone, so they can type out their takes, their instant feedback like that. And I get the whole thing about communication and having discussion and the platform of social media, but I feel like people allow their fantasy booking and whatever malign expectations get in the way of what's really logical and really what the shows are and what's being presented. Look, not every show overall SmackDown is going to be great.
Right.
That's just what it is. It's weekly television. But again, if you feel that you're at that point where you can't watch anymore, it's not for you, you're frustrated, I have to ask yourself, what do you want out of wrestling? And if there's a product out there that fits what you like, go and support it. Give New Japan a shot. Go check out Impact. Go check out some other stuff. But I hate to say that let one company in your fantasy booking, their company, get in the way of your enjoyment of the business as a whole. If you enjoy wrestling, enjoy wrestling for the stuff that you like. Nobody's telling you how to watch wrestling or what to do with your wrestling. You have to watch it for you and nobody else. And I hate that a lot of people in this era, because I know people who stopped watching wrestling because of Twitter and Vince McMahon and blah, 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 blah. Like, Vince McMahon should not stop you from watching wrestling. I don't care if you don't like the WWE or not right now. I really don't. But that shouldn't stop you from watching wrestling. So that's my thoughts on it.
Nice.
You know what I mean, Brother Carter?
Absolutely. No, absolutely. And in that case, if you and I know we joke about it, I personally wouldn't watch AEW, as you know, but maybe even give it a shot. Maybe you like, and you'll be like, oh my God, that's so cool. I don't know. We'll see.
Right. We got 4 more here. We got some interesting ones here from Sam.
Let's rock and roll.
Yep. Where do you think the Bray Wyatt logo during the Alexa Bliss segments are going? That's a good question. I think they're trying to link up with each other, and I'm all for it. I think that's the most interesting Alexa's been for the characters. So I see how giddy Bray Carter is about it. So yeah, I think that's where it's going.
That's the best character she's ever done. I said that last week, and I think that's incredible. I definitely think she teased the Sister Abigail on Raw this week, so I'm all about it. Let's do it.
Yes, sir. All right. Next question here on the podcast of Hoots says, top 3 burgers you ever had. Brother Carl, I'll let you go first.
Ooh. Now, are we talking like sit down? Are we talking fast food? Are we talking
any type of burger, my man?
Oh, man, I mean, I've eaten a lot of burgers. I've eaten some really good burgers in my day. There's a southern kind of upscale restaurant chain called Hop Dotties, which has they have this thing called the Llano Poblano burger. It is one of the best burgers I've ever had. It is unbelievable. It's so good. I don't know what they do, but the Llano Poblano at Hop Dotties is really good. If you want something fast, Whataburger is the best fast food burger in America. It beats In-N-Out. It absolutely does. So that one was really good. I mean, I've had some really good burgers in my day. I'm trying to think. Boy, you want to jump in here, Josh? Those are the 2 that come to mind for me.
I have one here from Chicago based. It's called All Cheval. The restaurant's name is All Cheval. Their burgers there are the best in this city. I had when I went to cover WrestleMania in California for WrestleMania 31, I had this, I forgot the name of the restaurant, but I had a Wagyu burger.
Oh, those the Wagyu, those are good. Yeah, I've had those. Those are excellent.
I had one of those the night before WrestleMania. That night, it was a Saturday night. I tried that for the first time. Phenomenal, just really, really good stuff. By the way, for me, I never had Whataburger or In-N-Out. True story. Never had those before.
Well, next time you travel to the South or down to Cali, you want to check those out. I'll tell you, Josh, I don't mind the Miller's Pub Burger in Chicago. So I've been there. It's not bad.
In-N-Out.
Lies. Get out, Sam. That's a complete lie. You okay. Get out. That's incorrect.
It's not get out, it's get A-H-T. Get out.
Get out. That's right. Yeah, get out. Absolutely not. No.
What other burgers like stand out to me?
It's hard.
The Cheesecake Factory, I thought had some decent the times I've been there.
Check that out. Let's see. Golly, like I said, I've had so many good ones. It's hard to. Yeah, I'll keep thinking of it. Something will come to my mind as
I think honestly, really for me, the one that really stands out from a local point of view is Au Cheval, or Small Cheval. They have different brands of the restaurant in Chicago. It's very, very good. But hey, Chicago has a lot of great food in a lot of different places. So you got I can't be picky with the choices that we have here in the city. That's one of the charms of Chicago, outside of the gun violence, of course. Right.
You have some good food in Chicago, I will say. There's some excellent food in Chicago, I must say.
There's a place I'm going to show you when the next time you come here. There's a place called the Chicago Cut. It's a seafood steak type of place. It's downtown. It's some pretty good stuff there. All right. Next question. This is the one I've been waiting to tell you. Since we are in the holiday season, Sam has this question for me and you. What does Tony Khan put on his list to Santa?
Trios matches featuring the Elite. Trampoline wrestling. Blood. Guts. Drugs.
Nick Gage. There you go. It's right there.
Oh God! I
Nick Gage, the fucking pizza guy, flipping the pizza up in the air. I'll tell you this. Here's one who have Hikaru Shida against Britt Baker as a main event of Rampage for the arena. What's the name of the title they were promoting on Dynamite this week?
I don't care. I don't know. I don't.
WTHIWWAEW Championship.
I don't care. I do.
How about this one? Pockets. How about this? MJF versus Pockets as the main event of Revolution. There you go. That's one right there. I swear to God, I will. I'll this is a guarantee here. I don't make promises this much or guarantees on this. If Pockets is the one to take the title off of MJF, I will not cover and I will not watch another episode or show from AEW. That is a guarantee you heard right here on the Hoots podcast.
If Pockets is the one to dethrone MJF, Josh, I think that will officially put the bow on this segment because we were like, there it is.
Yes.
Good question, Sam. I like that.
What about this? A 3-hour pay-per-view special on TV with no commercials, and they're all, like you said, they're all trios matches. You get House of Torture for New Japan. It's just trio matches of every different company they have like working relationships with. So you get a whole bunch of random factions, and they all have run-ins and afterbirth brawls and this and that. I know another one. A Aubrey Edwards 30-minute promo.
Oh God!
I know Tony would like that one. Referee Tony S. I think he would like that.
Yeah, again, well, it's just whatever kind of blood, just blood what or smashing people through tables or throwing people off stages or sideshow stunts like Darby Allin.
Yeah, Chris Jericho versus Kazuchika. No, let me get this right. Chris Jericho against Hiroshi Tanahashi in a Mimosa Mayhem match.
Josh, you got that graphic you may want to put up real quick?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, you got the graphic we can see real quick. There it is.
Yeah. You got Kenny Olivier and Danhausen in an Iron Man match, a 60-minute Iron Man match. You got knocking the fuck off and Alex Abrahantes as the tag team champions. How about this for a main event of Rampage? You got Brandon Cutlet against Tarzan Girl in a tables, ladder, and chairs match.
God. I was gonna say Cutlet versus Dan Clausen in a.
Oh God!
I don't know.
Is it bad enough? Is it bad enough that Brandon Cutlet Peter Avalon match on Dark a couple of weeks ago?
I didn't see. I don't watch Dark. I don't.
You're not missing much.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah.
All right, that's a great one for Sam. And then last question for the podcast this week. How do you know when you've had enough and have to put down the laptop for a while? That's a good question.
Ooh. It's so funny, Sam, that you bring that question up because I've actually been forcing myself to do that a lot less because there'll be times where I'm just sitting unwinding and I'm watching YouTube videos and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, it's like 11:30. I gotta go to bed. So I don't know, man. I might need to start putting timers on things. Like I've got on my phone, I've set up app limits on certain apps to like if I find myself just endlessly scrolling, I'm like, okay, I got to limit my time on this because I can't just sit there. So I think time limits is a great way to do it, to just force yourself to be like, hey, you can't be on YouTube for an hour. You can't be on Facebook for an hour, just so I think that's a great thing that they're doing. Also kind of they have this thing called focuses. I don't know if you've seen this, Josh, if you know about focuses. That's another thing that Apple does. And I've got a focus programmed for work. I've got a focus programmed for personal stuff. Like I've got my do not disturb on right now, so I'm not constantly getting texts and stuff like that while I'm recording. There's a couple things I monitor just in case the waterfall, needs to get a hold of me for whatever reason. I have to keep that one on because that's important. Yes. So, but no, I think for me, knowing what, like, I guess just setting limits for yourself. And then when those limit hits, staying true to them and having the integrity, one of the 3 I's, the integrity to just say, you know what, I'm good. I'm going to just get off this for a while.
Right. Man, it's a balancing act, of course, for my end too, because my main line of work involves a laptop. So I think about putting this to the side, like recording the show and editing and stuff like that. I put that towards the side. I spend collectively around 65 hours a week of transcribing shows. Now, it's not just the hours of the show when it's airing live. It's the process of making the outlines for the transcripts, where before every show, I make a outline, just like a format of what the matches are and what I want the article to look like. So it's easy for me to go. I can like type the match under what other match I have highlighted. So that's how I kind of format the transcripts. And there's research. I had to do the due diligence of finding the win-loss records for AEW performers, because this is supposed to be a sports-based wrestling company. So there's really a lot that goes into my week when it comes to the transcripts, and I get around 65 hours a week.
Wow.
And covering 18 shows a week, roughly. And I think for me, working from home is a good thing, and I'm very fortunate for that, and I'm very, very happy right now in my life. I'm like, I feel as probably as peace I've been in a very, very long time. I wouldn't say that I'm professionally satisfied or anything like that, Bert Carter, because I feel like I could be doing a lot of bigger stuff on a bigger level. But I know the future is looking good for me, and I'm really happy with the work I'm putting out. I'm very grateful and excited for the success we're having here with the show, of course. And, I feel like, sometimes I feel like I can't let what my goals are get in the way of what's really happening in front of me. And that whatever does come my way, I'll earn it. And I know I'm going to reach my goals because I'm putting the work into it. So it's a balancing act too. There's times where I feel burnt out and I don't want to do NWA USA Saturday morning when I like doing 4 shows on a Friday night. Sometimes, Impact and their wisdom's like, oh, hey, let's start doing pay-per-views on Friday. So we have Impact and SmackDown and Level Up and Rampage, and like it gets to me sometimes. So if I don't have a pay-per-view on a Sunday or something like that, I put it down. But I like you, I've been trying to modify people's access to me in some ways. Like I don't really use my phone until I go to sleep. I put it in my kitchen and charge for most of the day. I don't use it. I don't look at it. And yeah, that could get in the way. Some people try to get in contact with me, calling and texting and stuff like that. I'm not the greatest at getting back sometimes, but I do eventually reach out. But for me, I feel like the constant need of me looking at my phone every 5 minutes really is not beneficial to me. And it's really helped me like clear my head out of stuff that really doesn't matter at the end of the day. And that's the thing too. Like I'm not tied down in a relationship that's stressing me out. I have no kids, like I can focus on what I need to focus on, but there are times in between where I just need to like zone out. So, okay, I'll do a New Japan show in the morning that takes 4.5 hours. And then I just put my computer down and maybe take a nap sometimes during the week. Hey, taking naps is not a bad thing, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely.
Depending whatever your work schedule is, if you could take a 45-minute nap during the day, it's not the worst thing in the world. Now, yeah, I work from home, so it's not like I hate that stupid argument. Oh, it's not a real job unless you get out of your house. It's a 9 to 5 thing. I just think that's bullshit.
No, the world is changing, and people are starting to realize that you can work from home. I mean, COVID certainly taught us that you can work from home, and if that's where you work best, then stay there. That's fine.
Yeah, and look, I'm doing what I want to do, and I'm doing what I'm good at, and nobody can take that away from me. Okay, I'm not working 8 to 5 at a place that I don't want to be at, for 70 hours a week. And okay, guess what? I'll make God knows what, like 50, 60,000 at a Home Depot or whatever type of shop like that. Let's say I'm working there, right? Am I happy? Is my mental health in a good place?
Mm-hmm.
Am I making the most of my time? Am I really in a good place? No. Like how we measure money and our time and how we use it, it's not mutually exclusive. I think people lose sight of that. Yeah, money's great, but what about your mental health?
Right.
What about your happiness? You got to find that balance in between. So even for me, I get burnt out sometimes, but I have to make sure that before I go to sleep, I listen to at least 90 minutes of music and just zone out.
I like it. Yeah. Good for you, man. That's awesome. Great questions this week, Sam. Thank you very much. And
go ahead.
Just say great questions to thank you, Chris. Thank you, Sam, for the questions. For everybody, if you would like to be on the Hoots podcast with your question, don't be afraid to get in touch with us at thehootspodcast@gmail.com. You can also take either one of us on social media with your questions that you may have. Josh at, of course, the Hoots podcast, and myself at Derek Stoughton. We would love to get your questions on the air.
Yes, sir. All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we get to our main event segment, we're going to do a little combo platter here. We're going to briefly go over some stuff in WWE that's going on, and we're also going to make some football talk in here. So I wanted to switch things up. Usually, our big part of the show is answering the questions, but before we get to our main event stuff, I just want to have some fun, just have some random, let's flare out a bunch of dots before we get to AEW and just have some fun with it. You ready?
Let's hear it. Let's do it.
All right. So for this week in WWE, we mentioned the return of Tegan Knox on this past Friday SmackDown. Speaking of SmackDown, I want to give a shout out to Ricochet and Santos Escobar, who
Yes.
put on a absolute barn burner in the finals of the SmackDown World Cup. Bert Carter, what was your thoughts on that? Did you get to see that match?
I did get to see that match, and I thought it was excellent. I think I'm really glad that Legado del Fantasma is getting their opportunity on the main roster. I think that pairing with Zelina Vega is perfect. I think that's a really good fit for everybody involved in that faction. And of course, we all know what Ricochet can do. I hope he gets more opportunities like that. His match versus Gunther is going to be great. By the way, can we also give a shout out to Samantha Irvin as the ring announcer? My God, she's fantastic as a ring announcer, and also her waterfall game is also quite excellent.
Yes.
So, but no, I thought that was great. Great to see Tegan Knox back. So yeah, really, really good episode of SmackDown this week. I enjoyed it.
And tomorrow night we got the Usos against the Brawling Brutes for the SmackDown for the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Championships.
Yep.
We had a big discussion last week about the state of the bloodline. I thought that was really good. Listening back to the show this week, I thought it was very interesting. We talked about a lot of different things of what could happen with the Rumble and stuff like that. Originally, it was supposed to be the Usos against Sheamus and Drew McIntyre, but they announced on Raw that Drew's dealing with a medical issue right now, so he's going to be out of competition. So our thoughts go out to Drew McIntyre. Hopefully, he can come back on TV soon. One thing from SmackDown that caught my eye was that Karrion Kross is going to go after Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
Can you all leave Rey alone? Can you let the guy breathe before the holidays? He's whooped on Thanksgiving, and now he's got Kross gonna send him to the gulags.
Holiday's going to be a tough time for Ray because if Dom tries to bring Rhea around for Christmas, that could be that'll be a interesting way to ring in the new year there. What is it? December to Dismember? Isn't that what that might end up turning into?
What a brutal pay-per-view that was.
Yeah, it was. But yeah, no. So that was. Yeah, I'm intrigued by that pairing and just kind of that clashing of styles. I think that could be interesting.
Shout out to Jamie Noble, who's having his last wrestling match coming up on Sunday. I saw this clip put out on Twitter earlier today. It's going to be at a WWE live event in Charlottesville, West Virginia, I believe.
Okay.
West Virginia. So shout out to Jamie Noble, who had a really good career. And for what I know, is really big on the Seth Rollins he's a backstage producer, so he's really big on the Seth Rollins matches. So shout out to Jamie Noble. Hey, can't forget about J&J Security, right? Yes.
Oh man, what times that was.
I got a question for you.
Yes.
So we had for Raw, we had two triple threat match to determine a big time number one contenders match for the Raw Women's title coming up on Monday, right? So
yes,
we had Bayley win her first match and Alexa Bliss. So it's gonna be Bayley and Alexa Bliss. How you thought about how both of those matches went on Monday? What was your thoughts on that? And I thought it was kind of unique to do it this way instead of having another goddamn tournament that goes nowhere.
Well, what I was going to say, and I'm just glad they didn't do this because I think I've talked about this on the show before. In the last couple months, like you would see on SmackDown, we're running a 6-pack challenge to find a contender. Great, they have their match. We're running a 6-pack challenge to find. Like they just kept going to that well over and over again. So no, I like this idea of them doing it this way. I like the idea of Bayley versus Alexa Bliss. I think that's going to be great. I do think Alexa Bliss is going to get her opportunity at the Raw Women's Championship. I'm looking forward to that. But no, I know I was happy at how this went together. I'm excited for Alexa Bliss, and I really hope that this leads to the return of the Fiend character. And I don't know if that works in conjunction with Bray Wyatt doing his thing with LA Knight, and they're going to both emerge at the same time. I don't know, but I love the little teases. I think it's just great.
Yeah, it's lining up like we mentioned before. There was a reason why Asuka and Alexa Bliss was hanging around with Bianca for so long. Like you got to get to a certain point. I don't think the change for Damage Control wasn't going to happen until Becky came back. So Here's Becky. She's back. Becky's probably going to cost Bayley the match. damage control costing her match in the main event of Raw this past Monday. So it's all lining up in their own way. That's why I talk about it's a week-to-week show for a reason. So like you're not gonna get an answer why this is happening this week. It's gonna happen sooner or later.
But they at the same time they continue to revisit those stories every week, so you actually remember what happened the week before, unlike on other programs where they just expect you to kind of know what's happening.
Yeah, like Ricky Starks has his long feud with Powerhouse Hobbs, and he's off of TV for a while. Then boom! Oh, here's Ricky Starks. He's a number 1 contender.
We're going to get to that.
We're going to talk about that later.
I have thoughts about that, but by the way, Josh, switching gears on Raw. Yeah. It was really cool for me to see Solo Sikoa pay tribute to Umaga in his beatdown of Matt Riddle with the Samoan Spike and all that stuff. I thought that was really cool.
Well, I saw that Umaga's son is training Booker T's Reality of Wrestling in Houston, so I thought that's pretty cool. I always loved Umaga. It's a shame he's another one that passed away way too young. So
yeah, man.
Umaga.
But also Armando Alejandro Estrada.
Yes. No.
Dude, I loved him. I loved Armando Alejandro Estrada. He was great.
We had announced for next Monday as well as Seth Rollins and Bobby Lashley in a number 1 contenders match. Now, here's the deal. I don't know where this is going to happen. I don't know if this is going to be the first, whoever wins the match gets the match, either on the last Raw of 2022 or the first one or the 30th anniversary show. Hey, by the way, we got the 30th anniversary of Raw coming up soon, so God knows what's going to happen on that show. By the way, do you have The Rock show up at that show? Do you have Cody Rhodes make his return at that show? The 30th anniversary is in Philly. I think they're going to bring out some big people on that show. I'm out of the loop, Brother Carter, on rumors and stuff like that. So I don't know what's going on.
We haven't really seen anything on the dirt sheet rumblings as well. But I gotta imagine you'll have like Stone Cold will come out and do his thing. I hope you'll. Yeah. He should come out and stun Triple H, just kind of as like a. So you're in charge now. Yeah. Well, this is how we do things around here, and give him the stunner. I think that'd be hilarious.
In charge.
Him and then there's one other person that has to get stunned on the 30th edition of Raw. You know who it is, right?
Yes. Sami Zayn.
Saxton has to get stunned.
Oh, Saxton again? I feel so bad for him. I'm at Jerry World, right? And they just finished the Owens match with Stone Cold, right? Pretty cool moment. And then he brings Byron Saxton into the ring and stuns him after the match. I'm like, come on, man. That ain't right.
No, Saxton has to get stunned. I think they should bring up Pat McAfee, and McAfee should get stunned, and then Triple H should get stunned. But now that's going to be a great thing. Me personally, I'd save Cody for a Royal Rumble, but I could see Rock coming out and confronting Roman Reigns and maybe setting a teaser up for their match.
That'd be a pretty big deal there to have it start. That'd be a big deal. You know who should be stunned? Dominic.
Dominic should get stunned. That would
think about the pop there.
That would be great. That'd be great. I just love seeing Saxton get stunned. Anytime Saxton gets stunned, it always makes me happy.
Exactly. I just wanted to briefly go over some topics really quick there for WWE. I'm going to talk about this pay-per-view, and then we're going to get into some football here. We got NXT Deadline coming up on Saturday at the Performance Center. Speaking of news and stuff, they announced earlier this week that NXT is going on the road next year in 2023. They're having their NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day taking place in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm going to take a quick swig of water there as I was saying this. Vengeance is going to be taking place in February at the arena where the Charlotte Hornets play. And I think that's pretty cool. I think it's a cool deal that they're going on the road, and I think it's going to be a pretty cool deal. So here's the card coming up on Saturday on Peacock, of course. we have 5 matches on this show. Let me go over the rules really quick of this Iron Survivor Challenge match in case any of you guys are out of the loop or don't know what the hell I'm talking about here. It goes like this. So basically, 2 wrestlers start the match, and every 5 minutes, another wrestler enters until all 5 participants are present. After the last wrestler enters, there is a predetermined time limit. Each time a wrestler scores a pinfall submission or being the victim of a disqualification, they gain a point. A wrestler who's pinned, submitted, or is disqualified goes into a penalty box for 90 seconds. The winner of the match is the wrestler who scores the most points at the end of the time limit, just like any other Iron Man match. The winners of the men's and women's matches become the number 1 contenders for the NXT Championship and the NXT Women's Championship, respectively. So those are the rules of how the Iron Survivor Challenge matches go. Here's the card for Saturday. I think it's going to be a very good show. We have Alba Fire, a.k.a. Kaylee Ray, against one of my favorites from NXT UK, Isla Dawn. How about this, bro, Carter? Announced on Tuesday, we have Pretty Deadly putting their NXT Tag Team titles on the line against the Day of the New.
Well, that
so we got
should be fun.
Yeah, we got Pretty Deadly, who's a fantastic tag team against the Day of the New. That's going to be fantastic. And then coming up there, we have Braun Breaker putting his NXT title on the line against Apollo Crews. That's should be a very good match. And then we got the 2 deadline matches, the Iron Survivors match. So here's the women's one. We got Cora Jade, Roxanne Perez, who's been a rising star in NXT that a lot of people enjoy. Kiana James, Indy Hartwell, and Zoe Stark. That's the women's match. Like I mentioned earlier, I got Cora Jade winning that match. The men's match, how about this field? We got Carmelo Hayes, Jordan Devlin, a.k.a. JD McDonough, Grayson Waller, everybody's favorite troll in NXT, Joe Gacy, and Axiom. Axiom is a masked luchador guy that does like a lot of quick submission moves and stuff. Like he's pretty good in the ring. I'll say that. I'm not really all for like the tumbling routines and the spot monkeys for Carter, but I give an exception to Axiom. He's pretty good at it. So I got Carmelo Hayes winning that match for the Iron Survivor Challenge match. And hey, it's a cool concept. So basically, whoever wins these 2 matches will be the number 1 contender for Mandy Rose, and whoever wins the Braun Breaker Apollo Crews match, that'll go into 2023, and it should be a good pay-per-view. I'm looking forward to it, actually.
That's gonna be great. That's gonna be great. Hey, by the way, Josh, I forgot one thing from Raw that I wanted to mention, and I completely forgot about this. Just slipped my mind. It's cool to see Dolph Ziggler come back, and I'm looking forward to seeing his feud, what they're gonna do with him and Austin Theory, and maybe even Mustafa Ali going forward. I think that could be really great.
I saw that. I figured that was the tie-in of why he attacked him, because wasn't that when Austin Theory had that he snapped on everybody that one Raw after?
I think so, yeah.
And he laid out Ziggler, so
right.
We'll have to see.
So, anyways, sorry, I just wanted to get that in there real fast.
Not beat said Roman. Yep, throw up the ones.
Throw up the ones. Always, he is.
You mentioned the Ricochet Gunther match. That match is taking place here in Chicago. We have a double taping. It's going to be the 16th, and the day before Christmas Eve episode is going to be taped in Chicago. I don't know if I'm going to see that one yet, Brother Carter, but yeah, Gunther and Ricochet is going to go down here at the Rosemount Horizon.
Do you think your fans will try to hijack the show and put themselves over?
Hopefully not. You know, it'd be a good Christmas treat to me. Roman Reigns cuts a promo and CM Punk comes out.
No, you stop. You shut it. No, no. Ooh. No.
That roof will blow off the place.
Oh, absolutely. But when Reigns comes out, Chicago is going to start with the CM Punk chants.
Yeah. Well, Chicago likes Roman too, so it's going to be an interesting dynamic. That should be a fun show. All right. Before we get to our main event, Brother Carter, yes. I did promise we missed on this last week, but I do want to talk about some football. We are getting close. We're getting close to the playoffs here, and
we are.
We have Rams and Raiders putting everybody to sleep on Amazon Prime right now. What's the score as we speak?
It is currently 13-3 for the Raiders.
Raiders are up 13-3.
The Raiders are up 13-3 against the Rams.
Okay.
With Baker Mayfield at the helm.
Who scored the touchdown?
Josh Jacobs got the rushing touchdown. I know. Yes. I have him. I know. I have him in one of my leagues too. I know. So that's really good.
I don't have him on fantasy. You know how Pat McAfee does like those betting things, or you like you do ones that you can get answer to win money. I got one for Josh Jacobs anytime touchdown.
Nice. Excellent. No, that's a good choice. But yeah, no, he's got one, and then but apparently I've been scrolling here. Apparently Mayfield's been throwing some dimes though, so who knows? So we'll see. But
those don't match well. Baker Mayfield and dimes. That doesn't seem right.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, well. But yeah, so this is why we record on Thursday nights now, so that you have an alternative to Thursday night football.
Yeah. I feel bad for Al Michaels. He's like, man, this is what I get. These are the games you offer me. I guess for him, he's not as cranky. He doesn't have to leave his house on the weekends anymore. I guess it's not all too bad. Hey, but they got the Rams. It's in LA, right? It's at SoFi.
Yeah, it's at SoFi. Yeah.
Man.
SoFi and SoFi.
I'm kind of curious to see how that WrestleMania stage is gonna look.
It's gonna be awesome. I bet. You know they're gonna show out in Hollywood.
Yeah. There was some big news, man. Von Miller tore his ACL.
Oh, that sucked. Man, and they brought him in to try to help him win a chip, and that sucks. That's a huge loss for the Bills.
To tear your ACL just for a freaking Thanksgiving game, it sucks. I get it's tradition and stuff like that, but if you have big time stars like that in your roster, you should not play them. That's just my
I mean, it's hard. It's hard. I mean, yeah, you say that, but anybody can get hurt at any time. Look at Lamar Jackson. Like the injuries killed. I'll just say, Josh, injuries killed me in fantasy football last week. You had Lamar go down. Jalen Waddle went down. I had Hayden Hurst in one of my lineups. He went down. So it's just like, you never know when an injury is going to happen. It just happens.
Well, what about this? So you brought up Lamar. I'll tell you, man, for a guy who's looking for the bag and all that, he's not been living up to it, man. I know he's thinking injured, but I'm going to be honest, he's not worth what he's looking for right now. I'm just saying that right now.
He has not looked good over these last few weeks for sure. And like I remember at the beginning of the year, he was balling out. Like he was just 6 touchdowns, 5 touchdowns, all these rushing yards. And I was like, pay this man. And a lot of people were saying, pay this man. But now, I don't know if it's that he's just, maybe he's kind of, I don't know. Is he like doing this because he's not getting paid? I don't know. I wouldn't think so.
Somebody got to put an APV out for him.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. I mean, yeah, that was I've agreed. He's been kind of a bust. I still think there's been no more bigger bust this year, though, than Kyle Pitts, man. Kyle Pitts is the biggest bust in fantasy football history. So, just saying.
Yeah, speaking of Atlanta, they got their rookie quarterback starting now for the rest of the year. I saw that's been written.
Oh, are they not having Mariota start?
Nope.
Oh. Interesting. I didn't know that. Okay, that should be good.
Yeah, the Desmond Ritter show, if you will.
Okay. He was good. He was a good college quarterback, too. I'll tell you, man, by the way, I got to give a shout out to Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy. He came in for the 49ers after Jimmy G went down with a season-ending injury. By the way, hope Jimmy G gets better soon. We'll see him again next year. Because, man, what a year for the 49ers. Trey Lance goes down week 2 with a season-ending injury. Now Jimmy G is out for the rest of the season. Here comes Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy, and he played a pretty good game. Good game, if you will. Pardon the pun. But he played really well. Dude, watch out for the 49ers. If Purdy can figure this stuff out, they could all of a sudden become a threat out of the NFC. Look out.
I don't know. Something inside me wants like Mitch to go to the front office and be like, "Release me now." It's just for him to go to San Francisco. I think that'd be pretty cool if he just like came in like a couple weeks out before the season, and he doesn't have to do much. Just gotta give the ball to Christian McCaffrey and let the defense do what they gotta do. It's not
Or
asking him to do a
Debo,
lot.
or to Debo, or to Brandon Ayuk. I mean, they've got weapons. Juwan Johnson starting to play really well. I mean, they've got, or Juwan Jennings, excuse me.
George Kittle's still around.
Kittle's doing all right. Yeah, he's kind of fallen off a little bit. Kittle's kind of.
Yeah, he's got the injury bug, which is kind of unfortunate.
Yeah. I still think, though, to me, the team, though, that's laughing their asses off right now more than anybody is the Seattle Seahawks, because they managed to get rid of Russell Wilson to the Denver Broncos.
Yep.
And oh my God, what a dumpster fire we got here in Denver. Woo! It's just, oh, good Lord, it's tragic what's happening here right now. Ooh, people are not happy here in this part of the country, brother Adam.
Yeah, but it's not Broncos country, let's ride. It's Broncos country, get the hell out.
Correct. Correct. Josh, who do you got? If you had to pick your Super Bowl right now, who you got?
I'd say this because we have our hashtag, but to me, it looks like it's going to be Kansas City and the Eagles.
Oh, interesting.
Not that I want to see it because I don't, but yeah, it's looking like that. I mean, who knows? Maybe this is a good thing for the Bills that Vaughn got hurt. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I want Buffalo to win the AFC, but I have to see it for myself. Now, I know everybody's getting all excited about Cincinnati, and they've been on a hot streak, but let's look at who they've beaten over the last couple of weeks besides the Chiefs. Mm-hmm. Ran through the Steelers, ran through a bunch of scrub teams as well. I mean,
yeah, but true, but dude, Burrow is a stud. Joe Burrow is a stud.
I have nothing against Joe Burrow. I think he's pretty cool. He doesn't come off as a douche canoe like Zach Wilson, so he gets a pass.
Dude, I like that. But
because Zach Wilson banged somebody's mom doesn't give me I don't give him more street points because of that. I mean, anybody could partake in MILF waterfall, if you will. Here's my thing for football I wanted to mention.
Okay, sorry.
I know there's going to be people out there going to say it. You know the Packers can get the final wild card spot. You know that, right? Yeah. With what? The only thing the Packers are good for these days are beating the Bears. So what? That's all they can do is beat the Bears. Hell, even the fucking Lions beat the Packers this year. Oh, yeah. Crunch side, Aaron Rodgers is going to go on a 7-game winning streak, and they're going to be in the NFC title game. My ass.
No. They've got one weapon, Josh, and it's not Aaron Rodgers. They have Christian Watson, a rookie. That's their one weapon.
They got two weapons. They got Christian Watson, and they got the referees.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's true, too. But besides that, who do they got?
Nobody.
I mean, you're telling me A.J. Dillon? No, he's mid. Alan Lazard is mid. Who do they have? I don't even know who they got. Robert Tonyan, he's mid. Aaron Rodgers is mid. I mean, give me a break. No, the Packers are not. They're not making the playoffs.
Yeah, if your claim to fame is that you can beat the Bears, it's like the Yankees. Oh, the Yankees are so great because they beat the fucking Orioles every year. Right. The Blue Jays. Big deal. And then they give Aaron Judge $360 million. I saw that the other day. Some of these ridiculous contracts in baseball. Padres, another mega 10-year signing. It went from Fernando Tatis Jr., Manny Machado, Juan Soto for the Nationals last year, that big trade and contract, right? And now Alexander Bogaerts for the Red Sox. Listen to this, 11 years, $298 million. and they still haven't won a World Series yet in the last 3 years.
I had no idea that TV generated that much revenue because I'm hearing all these giant contracts, and I'm like, who's watching these games? Like, it surely ain't people. It ain't people at the stadium because I see the games. I'm like, who's going to these games? Like, it's got to be TV money. But the baseball contracts always astound me when you're seeing these like $400 million contracts. I'm just like, where's the money coming from?
Right.
Sure, it ain't from paying.
Burkhardt, I got a question for you, my man.
Yes, I like that.
Do you know what time it is?
Is it time? Is it time?
It's time.
Here we go. It's time. Oh, Josh, it's time. It's time for your favorite segment of the week. It's time for my favorite segment of the week. It's time for everybody's favorite segment of the week. It is the question that plagues everybody's minds every single week. What the hell is wrong with AEW? And we're going to get this bad boy started in a 3, a 2, a 1.
Beat your meat, 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 beat your meat. Beat your meat.
Overtime for you guys here.
Your meat.
I'll take that song again. It's fine.
Your meat. Beat 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 your meat. I'm telling you, my time is right now. Right this minute, 2022. We're living it. My time is now. My time is right. God damn now. Man, what intensity.
It's time for What the Hell is Wrong with AEW? Brought to you by Final Battle? I don't know.
You said it would get presented by what?
By Final Battle? I don't know. Oh my God. Josh, it is time for your favorite segment. It's time for everybody's segment. It's time for the question we ask every single week. It is what the hell is wrong with AEW, aka what isn't wrong with AEW. And Josh, before we get into the theme for me this week with AEW is not necessarily the show itself, because I actually didn't mind. This was a better episode than most this week. It wasn't good, but it was better. But to me, it highlights just how incompetent Tony Khan is at running a television show or utilizing the talent that he has on his roster, his overpaid talent on his roster. That to me highlighted the show. We'll get in a second. But I want to start off with the things, as usual, the things I did like from the show this week. The Battle Royal, I said it just was what it was. I fast forwarded through the Battle Royal. But then, of course, we get to our weekly. I said this last week, Josh. I think every Wednesday night should be MJF Appreciation Night because this was just phenomenal. I thought his promo was great. But Josh, how the fuck has AEW not let Ricky Starks be on television and be in a main event segment up until now? How? Thank you. Yes, I forgot because really every time I ask a question, you should just put the graphic up because it just. Josh, Ricky Starks was fantastic in this. I thought this was tremendous. Ricky Starks went toe-to-toe with MJF and held his own. I thought this was great. So I really enjoyed that. I really did like the send-off with William Regal. I think we'll talk about that here in a minute. And of course, I thought the Acclaimed and FTR had a good match. I thought that it was a little bit rushed at the end because, again, this is just Tony Khan not knowing how to format a television program and be like, oh, by the way, you all have 30 seconds. What? And then we have to get to promote a match that probably should have been promoted for the last 2 months with the talent involved. But that's just me. But that's what I liked about the show. What did you like this week, Josh?
besides my weekly comment, which is the 8:59 59 part where the show goes out the air.
Yes.
I'll agree with you. I really like the MGF and Ricky Starks segment. I like the fact that they were able to have the full length segment after that Elevation Battle Royal was done and over with. We'll get to that in just a couple minutes, but I thought everything that they said really hit the mark and what they need to address. I think for me, though, the back of my head is just some of the way we got to this, and just like for me, I rarely ever talk about booking from any wrestling show, but it was just hitting you in the face this whole episode of Dynamite of how ass backward their organization is, their booking philosophies, how they get to certain programs and stuff like that. It was just really smacking me in my face. Like I really ever get on a bind about booking because that's really something I really don't care about the other day. But it was just like stupid, like a lot of the stuff that we saw on the show last night. Like don't get me wrong, like I liked most of the part of the match is Samoa Joe and Darby Allin. I thought that's probably Joe's best match in AEW so far. But did it really matter?
That's not really setting the bar. That's not really setting the bar very high.
That's the. I guess you could call it the low hanging fruit, but it's the truth. We're not reaching a high bar of stuff that's good on this program every week in this promotion.
No,
so you got to pull out teeth just to find something good on the show.
By the way, Josh, have you noticed that it's always the same two things every single week that we enjoy and nothing else?
Yeah.
MJF segments.
Yep.
And the Acclaimed. That's it.
Yeah, after that, everything goes down.
Correct.
This is
correct.
Big fall down.
All right, Josh, let's get into the shit because, oh boy, is there a lot of shit. Do you want to say anything about the Battle Royal? To me, this was just another generic Battle Royal. I don't really care about it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I'll look at this.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yes, go ahead, please.
Yes. So we had the gimmick Sheamus for the Burnham Battle Royal for the Dynamite Battle Royal. We had Ricky Starks. What? Jack Perry. What? Pockets. Ethan Page. Matt Hardy. What? Brian Cage.
What?
Dalton Castle. Who?
What?
The Butcher. Dustin Rhodes. Lee Moriarty. Ty's New Roman Font. And Sean Dean. By the way, I told Brother Carter this last night. You know, this is the only thing I'll say for the Battle Royal because this was all more to prop up not only the MJF Ricky Starks match, but we got TK's Golden Boy, Pockets. Yes, we need to showcase him in the AEW All Mid Championship. So basically, we're getting into a program with Pockets and Ty's New Roman Font. When Ty's New Roman Font is more interesting than Pockets on your programming, we got a problem. Okay, it's not good.
No.
Hey, I'm nothing wrong with seeing Penelope Ford on my TV screens, but for this, ugh.
Yeah.
You remember that feud Pockets had with Miro?
Oh.
Yo, game feud.
Oh.
Oh,
I'd forgotten about that, Josh. What? Why do you have to bring up these tragic things? Why do you have to make me relive these awful memories? Oh my God!
Minus 10 in my performance about
yes. Yeah, you may fail your evaluation this week, Josh. I may have to host the show next week just to show you how it's done. In fact, if you keep this nonsense up, I may have to host the show this week. You have to.
I am considering that.
Yes. Yeah. You got to bring in top tier talent.
Yes.
Anyways.
What we got next?
Okay, let's go on. Okay, so Josh, I am convinced now. I have been saying for a long time, I thought that Darby Allin had potential. I thought that Darby Allin had a future. I thought maybe he could be salvaged. Maybe they could do something with him because I think he has a good look. I think he has potential. Josh, I am now out on Darby Allin. I've had enough.
Oh, no,
I've had enough of Darby Allin. It's very obvious to me he wants to be nothing more than a stunt show performer. Did you see some of the bumps he took? Willingly took with Samoa Joe? Like, he willingly threw himself as hard as he could on the concrete floor, let himself get his head bashed into everything. somebody is going to mistime something and it's going to break his neck, and his career is going to be over before it gets even started. So I don't care about Darby Allin anymore. It's clear that he has no respect for the business. I'm done with Darby Allin. And then getting into Samoa Joe, Josh, I can't believe what I'm about to say. And this may be blasphemous. This may be, I'm going to give you a hot take and I may get some heat for this, and that's fine. Josh, Samoa Joe is mid. He has become mid in AEW.
Wow.
Am I wrong?
I can't say you're wrong.
Look what Samoa Joe has done since joining the company. They've made him in AEW. His highlight is winning the ROH television championship in AEW. That's the highlight. And now he's the TNT champ. He calls himself the king of televisions. He had a random ass heel turn for some reason. He's in a meaningless feud with perhaps the most downward spiraled professional wrestler in history. Josh, Samoa Joe is mid.
Here's my question back to you. If Samoa Joe is mid, then what the hell is Wardlow?
Wardlow is like Wardlow is like you know how their show is called Full Gear? Their last one was Pull Gear.
Yeah.
He's like, Wardlow is like 2 droplets in the bottom of the glass gear. That's what Wardlow is at this point. He is worthless. They have managed to get. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I do have an extra impression lined up later as we go.
I can't wait for that. But, Josh, do you have anything you want to add with that segment there? Or?
No, again, it goes back to the booking stuff. It's like, okay, Samoa Joe is gonna fight Juice Robinson at Final Battle on Saturday. Juice is not in the show, no interaction whatsoever, and Wardlow just comes in for the. It's like playing a video game on 2K, WWE 2K, right? And the match happens, and then somebody just runs into the ring after every match, like on Universe.
Right.
That's like how I'm watching it as this program goes each week. Afterbirth brawls for no reason, and it's just there. Like, again, don't get me wrong. MJF and Ricky Starks had an awesome promo segment.
Yep.
And they'll have a good match next week. But all that for a one-off? Why does Ricky Starks need to be the number one contender right now? Why are you going to sacrifice a loss of Ricky Starks' record just so you could prop up another WWE guy in Karen Danielson to fight MJF? You see where I'm coming with this?
Yeah. By the way, Josh, have you noticed that the most interesting people in the company right now are not ex-WWE talent or ex-New Japan talent?
Yeah, what a concept, right?
It's their own homegrown people that have risen to the MJF, the Acclaimed, Ricky Starks. They are the most interesting people in AEW right now, and none of them are ex-WWE guys. How about that? So, yeah. Okay. So, Josh, to follow that, we got to see Jake Hager and his favorite hat in the ring. That's the storyline, folks. Jake Hager and his favorite hat. We should have added him to the. Is he in the graphic? I can't remember.
No, he's not. Jericho is.
We gotta put Hager. I actually think Jungle Boy is salvageable. So I would put Hager in there instead of Jungle Boy in the graphic, but that's just me. So by the way, Josh, in back-to-back segments, they've managed to make. Listen to this now. Ready? Samoa Joe is now mid. Claudio Castagnoli is now mid.
You want to hear a snippet of what's wrong with AEW?
Please.
Listen to this from the locker room leader, Chris Jericho.
Okay.
Just one second. I got it right here.
It initially started out as a deliberate desecration of the legacy of Ring of Honor, has now led to me becoming the greatest Ring of Honor champion of all time. Oh, the irony. Claudio, you don't have the belief that you can beat me when it counts and become the Ring of Honor World Champion once again. Isn't that true? That's why I'm going to beat you at Final Battle, and it's why you are going to have to join the Jericho Appreciation Society. The Claudio, I'm going to tell you this right now. It is going to be the best thing for you. I am looking so forward to taking you under my wing and mentoring you, and most importantly, I am looking so forward to beating you at Final Battle. I'll see you then, Claudio. Oh, honor the Ocho.
Okay. All honor the delusional jackass.
Correct. Go ahead.
What did we deserve to have this fucking numbskull Jake Hager on our TV screens every week in matches, giving him a microphone, giving the two dweebs, Angelo Parker and Matt Menard, microphones every week? Wheeler useless. All this nonsense. Why in December is the Jericho January 6th appreciators fighting the Blackpool Cuckold Club? Why is this still a theme? Why is Daniel Garcia fighting Wheeler Yuta for the 50th fucking time this year at Final Battle on Saturday? Why is Chris Jericho a Ring of Honor World Champion? Why is Claudio Castagnoli look worse now than he was in WWE when he's off TV?
I don't know.
How
man.
is this benefiting anybody? How does it benefit Claudio for joining the Jericho Appreciation Society? How does that help him whatsoever?
It doesn't, because it's Tony Khan's fantasy booking, and it's trying to appease all of the internet marks or whatever. I don't know, Josh. What is this? Okay, this actually leads to my next point, which I wrote down, which is, what exactly has Tony Khan done to promote this pay-per-view? Isn't this a pay-per-view in order to try to make some money?
Yeah.
What has he done to promote this, to make me... What has Tony Khan done to make me want to purchase this pay-per-view on Saturday?
Jack shit.
Correct. Correct. In fact, well, here's all I need. Well, we'll get into that here in just a minute. Let's carry on.
Yeah.
Sit down interview with Jamie Hayter. I don't care.
No problem.
Yep. Worthless.
Right.
And then okay.
Here we go.
This segues into the women's division. Josh, this 6-person tag team match tells you all you need to know about the state of the women's division in AEW. This was awful. This was freaking awful. And you've got in there talent like Madison Rayne, Jade Cargill. Those are the only two people I care about. I don't think Sky Blues. I can't see what the deal with her is. I didn't see, when did Kiera Hogan get kicked out of the baddies? Was that supposed to be a storyline? I missed this.
Yeah, it was a Rampage deal.
Okay.
Not missed much.
No. And then, so you basically have 5 of the competitors doing their thing. Jade Cargill, who's obviously the most over in this, comes in, does her thing, and then we get the 1, 2, 3. Also, didn't Bow Wow try to creep on her about a week ago, and we didn't get a follow up with that?
We got it. We got it last week. Bow Wow was bringing somebody to confront Jade Cargill. Remember I brought up the whole Sasha Banks stuff?
Oh God, yeah, but did they didn't do anything to promote this week on the show?
No, but here's the thing: we got this Jade Cargill undefeated streak. For what? For her to lose to a WWE performer? How does that benefit her?
Yeah, you know what's going to happen? Sasha Banks, if they sign her, which again I think Sasha Banks is AEW is the perfect landing spot for Sasha Banks. She's going to come in. She's going to beat Jade Cargill in 2 minutes and take the TBS title, and then everybody else that's been busting their ass in the company gets to the back of the line because that's Tony Khan's flavor of the month. Yeah, look how well that's worked out for the flavor of the month, like Athena. Remember when she was going to come in and change the game? Yeah, how's that working out?
This match was not good, man. And I'm sorry, Tony. I know you like long competitive matches, but having this match go as long as it did. Not every match needs to go to picture in picture.
No.
And I don't care if it's Dynamite or NXT. Can we get rid of picture in picture? It does not help the enjoyment of the match. I don't need to see Layla Gray doing AEW Dark Elevation in dark spots during picture in picture just because you want to have a long competitive match. Trios matches, again, if there's nothing on the line and it serves no purpose, trios matches should not be going longer than 10 minutes. I don't care what anybody says.
Correct.
There's something else I wanted to mention that we forgot to mention because it was the whole William Regal stuff.
Oh, we did. Yeah. Let's. Yeah. Do you want to talk about that, Josh? Because I know you have some thoughts on that. So go ahead.
Yeah. Look, the whole my issue is not what he said in the promo. It's everything that went into it and everything in between with his departure in AEW. This is another indictment on Tony Khan, and nobody can tell me different. You mean to tell me a guy that has basically been your competitor's right-hand man during the years in NXT? William Regal was Triple H's Pat Patterson. You have him in your company and not even a calendar year goes by and the guy wants to leave. I don't care whether he wants to go back and hang out with his son or not. That's not the issue here. Nobody, you would think William Regal, of all people who's been in WWE for all these years, you would think him of all people be like, yeah, I'm away from WWE, the prison, all the stress, all the politics, all the drama, right? I'm going to go to the land of no politics and creative control. And any idea, he says yes, there's no in AEW, right?
Right.
There's no. You can do whatever the fuck you want, right? So right. William Regal gets his escape from prison. He goes there, and he doesn't even want to be there. Not even for a calendar year. So Tony Khan not only fucks up CM Punk's return to pro wrestling, you have a guy who could be a major role model and backstage influence, but no, you rather have fucking Chris Jericho be your locker room leader and backstage influencer.
Or your EVPs, like you brought back the Bucks and the Elite. Those are your guys instead of one of the greatest wrestling minds in the last, 40 years?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I mean, I've heard Jim Cornette talk about this. WWE basically handed AEW the keys to everything. They said, go ahead and take us. Go ahead and become the #1 pro wrestling company in the world. Tony Khan said, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
It's just.
It's so stupid. Look, they did the whole turn at mid-gear. William Regal gets punked out by Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley does the whole Scar and Mufasa bit where leave, don't come back, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to see you. He shows up with MJF. MJF turns on him, even though they were just realigned with each other a couple weeks ago. Now he's gone, and we get this pre-recorded clip. Don't tell me that was from a couple weeks ago. My ass.
Right.
There was so much Tony Schiavone on this episode of Dynamite last night. You can't tell me that backstage with him and Schiavone was a couple weeks ago.
Right.
That's nonsense.
Right.
And I gotta give you one last lesson before I go. Like, come on.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't
issue because wasn't the fucking Blackpool Cuckold Club supposed to be a big entity in AEW? This is one of the worst factions in the history of pro wrestling.
Well, Josh, it's not a faction because they're never together. How can you be a faction if you're never together? When was it like you don't see them on TV together every week? How is that a faction?
You tell me, man.
I don't freaking.
Ron Carter, you want me to do the excrement impression?
Yes, please. And then we'll talk about do that. And then we have to talk about the end of the show.
Yes.
Do your excrement impression. Then we have to talk about the end of the show. And then do you want to do? By the way, do you want to do any quick predictions for Final Battle, or do you care?
No, that's my part of the impression.
Oh, great. Okay, very good. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Swig of water for the working man really quick.
Yeah, here we go. He's getting his water. He's prepping up. This is another favorite part of mine of the week is hearing the excrement impression. I can't wait. Go ahead.
Coming to you live on Friday on Rampage is Orange Cassidy putting his AEW All-Atlantic Championship on the line against a competitor of Kip Sabian's choosing. We have the firms Lee Moriarty and William Morrissey in action. Next, we have Hikaru Shida putting her Regina DeWay Championship against the Bunny. In the main event, it's Jon Moxley taking on Kenosuke Takeshita. Then on Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live on pay-per-view, it's Ring of Honor Final Battle. We have 7 matches on the card. FTR put their Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles online in a double dog collar match against the Briscoes. Then for the Ring of Honor World Six-Man Tag Team Champions, it's Dalton Castle and the boys taking on the NBC's Brian Cage and the Gates of Agony. And we got a tag team grudge match. It's Swerve and Arguri against Shane Taylor Promotions, Shane Taylor and JD Griffey. Who? A Ring of Honor World Television Championship match as Samoa Joe takes on Juice Robinson of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Mercedes Martini puts a Ring of Honor Women's World Championship on the line against Athena. Then for the Ring of Honor Pure Championship, it's Daniel Garcia against Wheeler Yuta. JES against the Blackpool Cuckold Club. And our main event is for the Ring of Honor World Championship as the Ocho. Chris Jericho takes on Claudio Castagnoli. If Castagnoli loses, he will have to join the Jericho Appreciation Society. Then coming up next Wednesday on Dynamite is AEW Winter is Coming. As we got match number 4 in the best of the match number 4 in the best of 7 series for the AEW World Trios Championship. It's the Death Triangle of 2-1 against the Elite. And our main event is it's winner take all. It not only for the not only for the AEW World Championship, it's for the Dynamite Diamond Ring as MJF puts his ring and title on the line against Absolute Ricky Starks. More matches being announced on Twitter by Tony Khan, and we'll see you on Friday live on TNT for AEW Rampage.
Bravo. Well done, Josh. Well done. You get some of your points back. Very nicely done. Okay, so Josh, I mentioned this earlier. Okay. I want to talk about this because this again just shows everything that you know about AEW. I know we're running along, so I'll try to go fast.
Yep.
So many people said, and I didn't get a chance to see it, but from what I understand, many people said that the match this summer between FTR and the Briscoes was one of the best tag team matches or one of the best matches in the last decade. I heard it was just unbelievable. Like A++++++. It was just fantastic. And something that you would think people would want to see again. Because if it was that good, they might try to one-up themselves, right?
Right.
Now, granted, FTR is up 2-0, so you didn't have necessarily... here's the question. I think, was it Brett that asked this question? Yeah. So, I can't remember who asked the question. I can't remember who it was. But
no, Chris asked it.
Chris asked the question. Yeah, Chris asked the question. Yeah. So, you would think you'd want to see this one more time, right? To close Dynamite this week, we get a surprise. FTR will take on the Briscoes in a double dog collar match. You're taking 4 of the great wrestlers of our generation who have unbelievable chemistry, like know how to tell a story, know how to sell, know how to do what they do. And not only do you not promote it until 2 days before the show, which will easily be the best match on the card. Well, minus if it wasn't for the shit, it was going to be the best match on the card.
Yeah.
But you gimmick them in a dog collar match. You have taken this great talent and reverted them to dogs. This is what Tony Khan is doing to the pro wrestling business. This is what Tony Khan is doing to this company. How can anybody that is a fan of professional wrestling look at this and go, oh man, I want to see that. I want to see these incredible wrestlers who can tell a story and who are incredible athletes put dog collars on and beat the hell out of each other senselessly so that Tony Khan can get his little wet dream of internet mark booking. Can somebody please explain this to me? Can somebody please tell me what the value is in this?
If you look into FTR's 2022 and you think about it, they've had 6 matches televised straight up 2-on-2 tag matches, 6 of them on Dynamite. Think about this for AEW. If you read FTR's booking, the response you get is that guy from Happy Gilmore, where he's like, "We all lost our brain cells. This is the most idiotic thing we ever heard in our entire lives."
Oh, Billy Madison. Billy Madison.
My bad. Yeah.
Yeah. You get no points, and may God have mercy on your soul. Yes.
Yeah. If you read the booking of FTR, that'd be the appropriate response for that. They gave away the Acclaim and FTR on free television just to announce a match last minute with no build-up, just for the sake of, we got a dog collar match on pay-per-view, we can bleed, and that's my last-ditch effort to get the fucking Observer Award of the year. I like the Briscoe FTR matches. They've been good. But what, adding that the last minute just because it's on Dynamite makes you want to buy that pay-per-view? Hell no.
That makes me want to buy it less.
Exactly.
So
again, we have to raise the question to everybody. What the hell is wrong with AEW?
Absolutely. Let's get out of here. Hold on. Let me. I was so pissed off. I didn't even get my music. All right. Let me. Where is it? Hold on. Sorry. Oh, that was the set. We may have to do a set. We haven't done that in a while. All right. Let's get out of here.
Yes.
This has been What the Hell is Wrong with AEW.
Oh man, everything.
Thank you. Yes. You got one more song for us, Josh?
Yes, I do. Here it is.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks, don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Nope. Fuck this shit, I'm out. All right then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck up out of here. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Me, after every AEW Dark show I cover on YouTube. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank y'all for hanging out with us for episode 338 of the Hoots Podcast. You can find me on Twitter if you like at the Hoots Podcast. We're also on Instagram at Josh Lopez Media, at Josh Lopez Music. Make sure to bookmark ProWrestlingTranscriptions.com as I'm about to wrap up my coverage of the New Japan Super Junior and World Tag League tournaments. That's going to conclude next Wednesday. It's been a long tour. I've been covering these shows nonstop, so excited for this tour to end. Outside of that, make sure to leave us a 4 or 5 star review on Apple Podcasts. Helps expand and reach the show. Make sure to subscribe to our podcast on YouTube, youtube.com/The Hoots Podcast, or at The Hoots Podcast is our YouTube handle as well. I'm getting close. I need some suggestions. If you guys can help me out, help me find a good t-shirt sign that'll help me put these designs up there so you can get this bad boy on a hoodie or a mug or something like that. I am working hard on, maybe we might not get it in time for Christmas, but I'd say by 2023, we're for sure going to start selling some merchandise here.
I love it.
For the podcast. So do that as well. Brother Carter Work, they can find you on social media and all this stuff.
You can certainly follow me on Twitter at Derek Stoughton, just at my name, one word. Be sure to check out my stuff at DerekStoughton.com. You can see what I'm up to in the musical world. Also, check out my work on WrestlingRumors.net. I am a columnist and beat writer for that particular dirt sheet, only reporting the things that I feel that are necessary to report. Usually I try to stay away from the Dave Meltzer stories because I just don't think that that's news, but that's just me. But we have a great team over at Wrestling Rumors. They do really great work. And as always, Josh, pleasure to be here. Let's run it back. Let's do it next week.
Yes, sir. For Brother Carter, I'm Joshie. Don't forget, everybody, be the authentic product that is yourself. Remember, nobody dictates the pace of your life but yourself and the man upstairs. Bring back all the good times from our Universal Chatter days.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
what a time that was.
Yes.
Oh, man.
A lot of good things came out of that experience, and most important is our bond here as brothers here on the Hoots Podcast.
You're trying to butter up, Josh, but I have a sense we may have a guest host next week. I'm just saying.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, that may happen for sure. Yes. For Brother Carter, I'm Joshie. This has been episode 338 of the Hoots Podcast. We named the title of this episode, What's Up, My Dog? And it's been a blast. So we'll talk to y'all next week. Try your best to enjoy Final Battle if you could and XC Deadline. And we'll be back here next week. We love you guys. Talk to y'all later. Peace.
Be Uzi this week.